morning and welcome to the VSA Morning Miner. It's Thursday, the 11th of December, and I'm joined by Paul Rankin. Paul, how are you today?
I'm all right, thank you. Just fine.
Very good. Right, well, silver is now through $62 an ounce. So let's start with a bit of news that actually came out earlier in the week. Merger between two precious metal companies, Dolly Varden Silver and Contango.
Yes, that's right. That was announced on Tuesday. Two TSX listed firms there in Western Canada and Alaska are merging up. Specifically, Contango brings its Manh Choh gold mine in Alaska, which is a direct shipping ore project which goes over to Kinross's mill in Alaska, whereas Dolly Varden brings a very large silver resource along with a lot of prospectivity and a very large land position in BC and Yukon to the company. They will be merging their boards such that Sean Kunkun will be president of the firm and Rick Van Nieuwenhuizen as CEO, as well as veterans from the other two, the both of the firms making up the rest of the board. What I see here, the purpose of this is to build scale as far as an investable company is concerned. It also, with the gold revenues as a producer, it helps limit the shareholder dilution that Dolly Varden has had over the last couple of years with very, very large drilling programs being financed by shareholders in them up to this point in time. So it makes a company a bigger scale going forward on behalf of the shareholders.
Yep, very good. Moving to London, there's news out from Star Resources. We've had a flurry of quite significant news flow from them. Firstly, with deals from Endeavour Mining, and now a deal with a Chinese group.
Yes, that's right. They have found a Chinese group to buy into their Verkuba VMS copper deposit there in Kazakhstan. Hong Kong Shanghai Mining Services will essentially take on the role of providing finance into and through DFS and be the EPC contractor, then to build a mill and mine facility there at Verkuba as part of the funding arrangement. Now, this is a project level deal, so it retains, Star retains 100% of the remaining deposits and prospects across the license involved in Kazakhstan, which have exploration target potential of at least 23 million tons at 2.4% copper equivalent. So it looks to be a good deal for Star. Star would prefer to be an explorer, not a mine developer. And Hong Kong Shanghai would prefer to have advanced stage deposits that they can rather quickly convert into producing metal to send to China.
Yeah, Xinhai had been on a bit of a buying spree. The deal yesterday announced with Ariana in Zimbabwe. Market certainly likes the Star deal. It's up 25% so far this morning, and shares on a bit of a run. I think over the last month they're up 85% on the back of those Endeavour announcements and now this latest news. We talked a bit about Panthera's resources warrant exercises. There were a few that snuck into the deadline yesterday. Most of those warrants, which have been exercised recently, expired on the 10th of December. They were exercisable at 6.68p. So the latest announcement shows a further £160,000 going into the company for additional 2.4 million shares. But with that expiry, we do think that should clear the overhang that's been holding the price back, and it should be able to start moving up a bit more freely now. Lastly, Paul, we've got an update from Strategic Minerals Drilling.
Yes, that's right. We got some more drilling assay results and interpretation on hole 35, which was from the Redmore project, which was first had some discussion in a press release back in September. In this particular case, this hole 35 showing multiple zones of high grade tungsten and copper specifically. They did make a point to mention that they did have some assay intervals in this hole, which up to about 2 ounces of silver per ton, but they are unprepared yet to give any material weight to what that might mean, if anything, to the future economics or commercial viability of recovering silver as part of the Redmore project. But they did want to highlight that this is a classic uh, Devon and Cornwall style copper tungsten mineralization, and it is what they call in the geologic terminology Greisen mineralization of milky quartz vein with coarse crystalline wolframite.
Yeah, it's also interesting just to look, I think, at how valuable tungsten is relative to those other metals. 0.25% copper barely nudges the tungsten equivalent grades. Obviously, tungsten's quoted in MTUs, so a fraction of um, metric tons that copper and tin are normally quoted in. So it does help you sort of calibrate the importance of the grades that tungsten grades that they're hitting here.
Yes, that's right.
All right, Paul, I think we'll call it a day there. Thanks very much for your thoughts.
Very, very good.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.